Okay, I think I'll start and I'll keep admitting people as they come in. So, because I know everybody is always impatient for the guest speaker to start talking. So, I'm always on this thing to finish my portion of the talk soon. All right, I'm going to start by just telling you generally about the route, race routes, and navigation. What are the tools that we give you, how to use them, and then we'll have a Q&A if anybody has any doubts left. And after that, we'll move directly into the Himalayan part of it, which will be the route, and then Kabir will take over telling you how to handle that route. So I'm going to do a screen share. Right. Yeah. All right. Okay. Sorry. What did I do? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, as you can see, uh, you know, the race route and sticking to the race route is one of your parameters which we expect you to adhere to for compliance to our regulations, and for us to count it as a successful completion of our of the race. So we provide you with the route. Now, depending on which race it is, these race, so the event for Inspire India, the event, its logo, the whole character of every event is actually highly connected with the race route. So Deccan Cliffhanger, for example, has a specific kind of a start and finish point. It is called the cliffhanger because we try to take racers through the Sayadri cliffs and things. So that includes Mahabaleshwar, which last year actually we were not able to do, but otherwise it's always been on our race route. Then Ultra Spice has its own kind of thing. The name of the race is because of the spice plantations on the route, and the Great Himalayan is, of course, because it's there, and the route defines that race as well. So these are some of the things that we provide you. These routes are, they've been laid out every year. We do a recce of the route again to check on various things, and then we give you the final route map. That a link will be provided on either a Map My Ride or Ride with GPS. Um, and what I tell people is, these things get fine tuned, especially in the last couple of weeks before the race. So make sure that I will email people the final route which has to be used in the form of GPX and KML files also. So those are, gone over and over again. I check them, make sure that and the navigation cue sheet is matching each other, and only then you're sent the GPX and KML files. These you can usually upload to any of the devices that you're already using on your bicycles. Mm, Now, in addition to that, I recommend an Android phone-based app called GPX Viewer by Vectura Games. I can send you a link to that later. The crew should download and use it. The racers, I would suggest that you download and view these files on it if you need, or if you have, this one, Ride with GPS gives you a fair amount of detail, but this is a pretty good app. I'll show you a little bit more about that later. Then I also give detailed navigation grid or cue sheet, along with which has cautions written on it, depending on what we need to give you cautions for. The cutoffs and things are there. This is given in a soft copy well before the race, and then a hard copy again in the handbook, which you can carry with you during the race. And of course, the control point details. um, so this is your so this is how the control point details of, say, the Deccan Cliffhanger is given. So this is like a ready reckoner that you can have, so you know when you're, these are something simple that even the racer on the bike can just keep in their head, so you know that, okay, I have from the first control point to the second, I have 120 kilometers to cover, approximately what time am I going to be able to cover that distance, and so on and so forth. So we give you partial distances also. So CP to CP distance is the partial distance. And then, of course, you have your total distance as well, so that you know how much part of the race you have covered at each control point. So that when you're riding, these things are there in your head, that if you've reached Dandeli, you've done 450 kilometers, now you know you've got approximately 200 to go. So this kind of thing, with the control point details you can do. Yeah.
Hey, do the control points have time checks?
I'll tell you what, I'll take the Q&A afterwards, and for each race there are different things. So I'll tell you, ask me that question at the end of the thing. Yeah.
Sure.
Um, so this is the cue sheet that is provided to you in the handbook. I'm not going to go over all the races, but this is the general format that we follow for all the races. You have a reference number, which is the first column. The reference number is an important thing because in telephone
Hello.
communication between people,
Hi Divya ma'am. We are not able to see the presentation.
you're not? Oh, hang on. Okay, let me just. I'm going to stop. Yeah, you weren't able to see it? Is that the situation for everyone or?
Yes.
Okay, I'll just do the screen share again. Give me a moment. You were able to see the first two slides or no?
No.
We were not able to see anything.
No?
Just your
Okay.
folder.
No, ma'am.
Oh.
It was showing your desktop browser, not the charts per se.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing. I hope there was nothing. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, now it's visible.
all right. Okay. That's odd. Anyway. Yeah, still visible?
Yes.
Very
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. I'll just go back to what I showed earlier. Yeah, this was the first slide uh, of the what all we provide you. Then the second one was the control point details and how they are given to you. So this is the CP to CP distance. This is the total distances. Yeah. So I think somebody had a question about things that might be answered now in the visual also.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so this is the cue sheets that are provided for the navigation in each race. We'll have this in detail. So going back to the very first column, which is reference number. So the reference number is an important thing to use when you are trying to even communicate between the racer and the crew, or between two different crew vehicles, or if you want to communicate with the race official also. Instead of saying, I'm 5 kilometers away from XYZ landmark and I don't know where that landmark is, etc., you just call out the reference number. I will be able to immediately see where you are, or you say I'm between reference numbers 7 and 8. So then I know you're within this like 8-hour stretch between the tunnel and Shirwal Bridge or something. So the reference number, and even when we have to give instructions for anything, supposing there's a road diversion or anything that we need to inform you about, we use reference numbers to tell you, or control point numbers to tell you that, okay, this is where this is, you need to do something, right? So that's the first column. Then the third one is the partial distance between each point on the of reference number. So between reference number 1 and 2, the partial distance is 0.25 kilometers. Okay. And over here, so at the first, in reference number 1, line will tell you, okay, you zero the aerometer, this is your zero start point. And then there's the second last column, which tells you if there is anything that you need to pay attention to on that spot. And here we have a caution, which is that the start goes heading down a steep downhill. So immediately as soon as you start, there's a steep downhill. So, watch out for it. then at 0.25 kilometers, at the end of that steep downhill, there's a sharp left. So this is how you keep reading the thing. If we use any nomenclature, then that's also written over there. Yeah. So control point to control point distances are also given to you, which match the control point details which are given separately. And the last column is the total race distance that you have covered at every point on this thing. Yeah. And for this is the this is the next sheet, which starts from control point 2 onwards. And the 0, the odometer, which is written over there, this is for basically for the crew vehicles, for your support vehicles, where you're just told to 0 the odometer so that the second this thing can start. It just improves a little accuracy in this partial distances that are given to you. So there's a whole bunch of things over here. Like over here we've written, do not miss this turn or point. So when you're on reference number 23 itself, you know that you have to start looking 45 kilometers from there. It's not immediately. It's going to be after 45 kilometers that there is some kind of a thing which you have to do. So you can pay attention and look for this. Yeah, look for a service road for Belgaum or some signboard or whatever. Yeah. Then for the self-supported racers, we give a lot more details of cautions because you don't have your crew with you and you're on your own basically. So the crew is not telling you any, instructions and stuff. You have to know them from us. So we give a lot of information about everything. Where is food available, not available? This of course is for the ultra spice race. So here it includes instructions about what happens at night on a certain section because ultra spice you're day and night on the road. So which section, where to get your water or anything before you reach a certain point. It goes on in a lot of detail. Yeah, that's it. Okay, right. So this is, yeah, so that's. Okay, so I'm going to show how to use an app called GPX Viewer, which I've been using for navigation during the races for many years now. And it's, okay, so you go to folders and you can see, you can select, I'm going to select the KML file for the Himalayan, open. Then this is one of the versions. You can switch back to a different satellite image, etc. We'll keep it on this one for now. And then if you zoom in, you can see exact distances. You can see the climbs, and this map draws a very, very accurate sort of a picture. This also has a feature here. So if you go to this, click on the top left, you can do a couple of things out here. You can remove waypoints or you can show them. You can also click on, while navigating during the race, it's a good idea to use follow GPS. Right now my GPS is going to show me in Pune, as you can see. So I'm going to disable that, otherwise it will continue to go there. But during the race, while you're on the race route, if you use the follow GPS feature, it shows you your little blue dot on the exact location, and the screen will keep scrolling so that you know exactly where you are on the route, and you can zoom in a great detail and see yourself exactly where you are on this route. It's great for navigation, it's great for seeing how much distance you've covered. So this is one of the ones that I recommend. There's another feature here, especially for races with a lot of climbing. We use this in Race Around Austria as well. But this only works on KML files, which we provide, of course. So I'll just go back to show you what I did here. Click on this and choose track or route info.
It gives you a little bit statistics about elevation, etc., total climb and stuff, which of course we are providing you in the map my ride as well. But just to show you what I did here, there are these graphs, and this is the one that I clicked on. Now this is still 0 to 100. You can keep zooming in. This is the max you can go. So this is every 10 kilometers, it shows the gradient that you have to climb. So every, it literally, if you use this, you can see where the climbs are, what distances they are, where the descents are. You overlay this rather while you're looking at the route map on, say, on your laptop, and you can really study what's going to go happen in the race. You can see over here, this is the valley, and then this climb starts from here, 100 and, you can estimate 134 kilometers is the last dip, and then you start climbing. And this is your Fortula climb, going way over 4,000 meters. So you can really see what route lies ahead of you. Then the descent, and that's Namikla. Another descent down to Kargil. So that's Kargil basically. And then of course, for the self-supported, you won't be doing this additional part which goes to Dras and back. That's this rolling terrain to Dras and return to Kargil, which is the lowest point on this track. And then the next morning, what you do is you're going to be climbing up. Namikla, small descent. So remember this, this is Kargil at 3, well, it's going to be different distances for different races, but let's just say 375 approximately from here, just to get an idea. From 375, you start climbing, and except for this 10-kilometer stretch of descent, you are continuously climbing for 90 kilometers. 90 kilometers is uphill. So on the second day, you have a lot of climbing to do. Then you have this nice good descent and a little bit rolling terrain, and climb back up into Leh. So this is a really good app to use. This gives you the elevation change in each thing in a different way. I haven't really used this feature, but you guys can check it out. So yeah, do use the GPX viewer. I'll send you a link to this app. Yep, thank you.
Basically, that app, which I'll send you the link to the app as well. And or with a KML file, you can actually, and you can use this for any of your events, races, etc. You can zoom in so that you're seeing the route gets broken up to every 10 kilometers. You can see exactly what the gradient is. It's fairly accurate. And then this can be used by the racers to anticipate, and also later the crew can use it to understand where you are. One more, and you'll see in this thing that you can also see your location, like the person who's using it. So if it's your crew, for example, they can see their location on the map as well. So in anticipation, you can see, okay, I've got a huge climb coming up, so we have to give our racer food, water at this point or that point. And we used it extensively during Race Round Austria, which was mostly climbing. So yeah, I'll share that with you guys. Any other questions? Okay, any questions related to route or navigation, how to
Hi, Divya.
Yeah, Chaitanya.
Just curious, are there any key spots on the route which have options where I can purchase water or any snacks?
On the Himalayan?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Or like the villages or towns, the names would help me plan my hydration and
right. So in
refueling
fact,
stuff.
for sure, we will be providing the detail. In fact, we have Grishma online here. Maybe I can pull Grishma.
Yes. Hi.
Hi there.
Yeah.
How's the weather?
Good, good.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
pretty
So
good.
you,
It's quite sunny.
right. Oh, it's sunny now.
Yeah,
It's 7:30 almost. Hmm.
yeah, but it's quite sunny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, there are some points when we go till Kargil, there are just 2 points where in like 30-40 kilometers there won't be anything, like no dhabas or any roadside anything for snacks. But otherwise, after every 20-25 kilometers, there are places, and maybe within 10-15 days, we will get all it done. So Divya, yeah, I was also going to tell you next weekend I'm going to do the route Reiki.
super, super.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And
So by
just one more question. I'm a
yeah.
vegan, so how
Mhm.
much of a trouble would I be in, like in planning things out? Like what kind of food I'll be getting over there?
It's pretty easy to get it here. That would be an issue.
That wouldn't be an issue. Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not, they don't use much milk products there
Yeah.
in case.
Yeah. It's more like dal rice kind of a food what you get on the way.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and
And Maggie noodles Jindabad.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
one more question. Like I've seen that you guys are providing the hostel at Leh. Does that include a kitchen or something like that where I can prepare my meals or something like that? Or should I be looking for some other accommodation?
Yes, we do. You can DM me for other details later and I can give you all the details for that.
Okay, thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Okay? Yeah. Sure. Welcome.
Okay. Any other questions related to the route guidance, etc.? No? Okay. So what I'll do is I'll move on to the details of the Great Himalayan route. So we saw a little bit about it. I'm just going to open the map. One moment. Um, yeah. Mm. Right. Okay. Yeah. I'll just take 5-10 minutes to go over the Great Himalayan route just to introduce you to the outline of the route and what happens, and then I'll hand over to Kabir. Yeah, screen share. Which one? Yeah. Okay. So this is on Ride with GPS. The map that I have opened right now is the 600 kilometer for the RQ distance. But Ride with GPS also gives you like elevation data is given in this profile at the bottom, starting from Leh to Thiksey and then back. And then this is the what we saw on that other this thing, which is Fotula. So this is the highest point on the race, and then down again. So just to tell you, this race, so it's a high altitude race, and it's if somebody has not been into the Himalayas, into this kind of altitude, it's quite a experience, it's quite a shock when you first get there and you realize how much less oxygen there is and how your body needs to adapt to it. So we have other information that you can use on how to acclimatize in the best way. Kabir will give more inputs on that. But the one thing that I have to stress is not to in any way underestimate what happens in a high altitude race. In a high altitude place to begin with, the race is later, but just being over there is something that you need to deal with and adapt to, which is why we have the 10-day acclimatization period. And just, briefly for you to understand, Leh itself is at a high altitude. Leh is at an elevation of 3,500 meters. And the moment you reach over there, you will feel it. If you fly in, you'll feel it immediately. The sort of, sorry, can you see my screen? Yeah. And then we climb up, as you saw, Fotula climb up the entire race route, except for that brief moment that we come down to Kargil. Almost the entire race route is above 3,000 meters, which is considered high altitude. Yeah. So the race starts from Leh. For the 600-kilometer racers, they go briefly go in the other direction towards Thiksey and turn back. They go past Leh and then start climbing. The route goes, along the Indus River. Over here, you can see. Yeah. So this is a beautiful point on the race called the Sangam, where the two of the rivers meet up and then continue as the Indus River. So this is a beautiful stretch of the road along the Indus. Then for one last time, then you follow it again over here. This is in the valley. And then at this point, you stop the route, route starts climbing up. This is that climb which I showed you, which starts going up towards Fotula. And the river now peels off, the Indus River peels off from here. And then this part of the road is the long climb to Fotula. It goes past Lamayuru monastery, which is beautiful. There's the Moonland region. And then from Fotula, you descend towards Kargil, but there's one more pass on the way. So it's not even like there's just one climb. It's like you climb up Fotula, you descend, and then again you have to climb up Namikla. Then you come down to Kargil. Then you're down in the lower section from Kargil. The 600K. So for the self-supported, you're not going to be doing that beginning part to Thiksey. You'll directly start from Leh and go to Kargil. That's your first day section, and your second day after the rest halt, you return from Kargil back to Leh. The 600K racers will be doing this extra section from Kargil, which is here at 250 to Dras. Now Dras, just for everybody to know, this is a race of extremes in every kind of respect. So one of the other things which is extreme about this race is that Dras is the second coldest inhabited place on earth. So, and in the night it can get really cold there. So on the elevation profile, this section from Kargil to Dras and back looks like there's not much to it, but I know year after year racers get extremely challenged between this section. And there's a wind over there, the temperatures are down, you've had a long day of climbing, and in the night this thing can take quite a toll. I've seen people coming back to Kargil at this point when it's time for them to rest, where they're really hammered. So it's a beautiful route, and that landscape is something amazing. So I am now going to hand over to, are there any questions for me related to the route, or should we move on? Yeah.
Just a few questions related. Can you explain more about the cutoff points and for the unsupported race?
Yeah. So for the unsupported, this is I'll go into greater detail with exactly what your cutoffs are going to be, but roughly what we're thinking is from Leh to Lamayuru is a distance of, just one moment, let me pull up the document. Give me a moment. Yeah. Yeah. So roughly you have 222 kilometers each day that you have to cover in approximately 15 hours, starting from 6 in the morning till 9 p.m. and where you have your night halt at Kargil. And then on the way back again, you'll have the same distance to cover in approximately the same amount of time. So the biggest problem is the descent from Fotula. So we don't want anybody we don't want to risk anyone being descending from Fotula and Namikla in the dark, because that's a really, that you're descending with the valley on the left hand side. There is wind over there. Self-supported racers, we're just not going to allow them. Even for RQ, we have a cutoff time. If you don't make it to Lamayuru, which is 115 kilometers from Leh, if you don't make that distance, if you can't cover 115 kilometers in 8 hours, then we will not allow you to continue to Lamayuru. You have to Kargil. You have to stop over there, because this is for your own safety. So that is going to be one cutoff, which is going to be imposed on everybody. Then the second cutoff is on the return, which will be again strictly imposed at Fotula. So people have to reach Fotula by a certain time. I think it's 88 kilometers, and we need you to cover it in a max of 8 hours. So, train hard because you've got a lot of climbing to do, a lot of work to do. Kabir will share a little bit more about the route and details, but that's going to be the other cutoff. And then we will impose one more cutoff, which is going to be at about 5 p.m. each day. So you may pass through Lamayuru, and then at 5 p.m. you've still not made it up to Fotula or something. So we may take a call to tell racers that they have to stop. And one of the things that Grishma is going to have to do when she does the recce is list places where there are night halt possibilities also. So we will direct you to the nearest night halt and ask you to sleep, and then continue in the morning to go back to Leh. Yeah.
And one more question. So in the night, after the first day, so the riders have to sleep or take rest from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Or I can start at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m.?
No. It's a mass start that we start. So the timings and all for the self-supported, we will be declaring.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Chaitanya, can you mute yourself, please?